Thank you, Frank. And good evening to our guests and to our community for attending our board meeting on today, Monday, September the 9th. It is a pleasure to be before you. We are going to go ahead and get started with our meeting. It is now 6:52 p.m. and I'm calling this meeting to order. Secretary Davis Smith, can you please give us roll call?
Trustee Kraft?
Present.
I'm present. Trustee Garrett?
President.
Trustee Gross?
Present.
President Hannah?
Present.
Trustee Terry?
Present.
We have a forum.
Yep. If we can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have an amendment to the agenda for the regular board meeting. I need to remove from the agenda under item B, information from superintendent and administration. We would be removing item A from superintendent's report, discussion number 2, consulting agreement for HR audit. We are removing the discussion item as well as the action item. We will add to our agenda, under our regular working agenda, under Board of Education A, the discussion item for the resolutions recognizing the delegates from the Kusatu, Japan, as well as an action item for the approval of the resolutions recognizing the delegates from the Kusatu, Japan. Can I get a motion for the amended agenda, please? To accept the amended agenda.
So move.
Support. Thank you. It's been moved by Trustee Gross, supported by Secretary Davis Smith for the acceptance of the amended agenda. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
As it pertains to the removal of this HR audit, what's the rationale for actually removing it? And if this was brought to us, had it been brought to us for approval this evening, to my understanding, these people have been in the district since Tuesday. So how does that work? How do you bring in a company or somebody in before the board approves it? And to my understanding, they're still here. And we have no background on these people that are here. So my questioning is, how are people here to audit HR? We did not approve them to be here, but the process is taking place, or been taking place, and they're still here. Now we're asking it to be removed. Why?
Dr. Leverett, do you want to speak to that, please?
Yes, we met with them last week. They had some preliminary information that we wanted them to do a comprehensive review of human resources, as we had talked about in the past, and also moving forward, as I have presented this evening, also curriculum and instruction, so that we could do an alignment of our policies and procedures as it relates to human resources, as well as curriculum and instruction, to decide on the next steps that we will be heading in as a district. And so at this point, they did come in last week. We had a conversation, and they are going to present information in terms of what the next potential steps could be moving forward.
So I understand that, and I did mean to cut you off, Doc. How could you bring in a company to do work in the district prior to the approval of the board bringing them into district, which was asked of $40,000, until this was removed? How do you bring a company into the district to speak with people in human resources without the board approving them to be here to be paid to do so? That was not answered. You put the cart before the horse. Why?
Dr. Leverett, I'll share. Okay. During previous meetings, Dr. Leverett did bring before the board her interest in doing a review of our HR department, as well as curriculum and other departments within the district. So when she spoke with these consultants or the reviewers, they came in last week to do initial review and get information about it. Her threshold was $25,000. It was not the initial review, them gathering information, was not to exceed, or it did not exceed the amount where it required board approval. So their coming in was to gather information initially. She, based on the information they shared with her, and this is per the conversation that Dr. Leverett shared with me today, which I forwarded to the board, was that they are going to pause based on the information she gathered, and she is not going to move forward with a contract or with the contract of reviewers at this time based off of the information that she gave. I think she shared that with us. When she shared it with me, I moved forward and I
didn't know
shared it with the board.
Not this, no, not.
So that's, unless there's something else, Dr. Leverett, am I missing anything?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Garrett?
So, okay, and maybe you can help me with clarity. We've already had for a year a consultant in HR, working with the HR director.
For 1 year.
For 1 year, there was a consultant. So what is this person going to, what are these two people, I guess, what did they do differently, and why, if it was brought under for $25,000 and they're asking now for an additional 40, which I guess now we're not doing that part anymore, why do we keep we just approved the contract for, not speak like she's not sitting right in front of me, but the HR director for $149,000. What is going on that we need to bring in somebody other than who we've already had, and we pay top tier for a director in there to say that we need to be realigned with some other consultants, and we're too consultant top heavy is what I'm saying. And the $25,000 is not an autonomy for the superintendent to just bring people in. It is supposed to, at immediate, the board chair, which is voted on, it's in the minutes, is supposed to be notified of the consultant in the particular district. And if this is the first time that we're seeing it, I mean, not first time like just the first night, but, I read through the contracts and I read through the consultants. I don't know who they are, don't know where they come from. I do have some questions around why are we doing this again? Because my reservation of any time that you start doing let's just say you are paying a little bit more attention in HR. The last time this took place with certain individuals in the district, charter schools start popping up because that is the heart of the district. That's from my experience. And so I would want to know why we're doing something preliminary in HR. Does the HR director need this? If we're looking to do something different as it relates to what the board had discussed, we've never come back. We're just coming back from the summer. We had a board retreat at the end of May discussing the fact of how we wanted to or what we needed to do, but there hasn't been anything sent to myself, and if it has, and I overlooked it, my apologies, but I would just need a little bit more clarity on that. Them giving information, coming in to talk to the HR director have anything to do with this? Is the HR director leading this? Is this something that the HR director asked? Because I've watched those videos from from the end of May, several times to get a better understanding of to have a healthy conversation. And so I'm very concerned with having all of these consultants, and we're paying top dollar for administrators already in the district. That's all. So
Thank you.
That's my question. Is
Good.
the HR director asked from this, and then what is this about? What is this about? That's all I need.
Yes, and again, from my understanding, as we had been discussing, that we wanted to do a review of all of our departments, and it was decided that we were going to start with HR. Curriculum and instruction, I believe, is next, and I think we kind of landed on why that was important during our meeting we just had. But once Dr. Leverett, after she had talked to these reviewers, initially, after the conversation, the information that she received, she sent us that email. So that's what I know. She sent us the email that she sent today, because they provided her
But the
that
email- right,
information.
But the email is saying that we're pulling it off the agenda.
That's all it said.
That's all it
This-
said.
We're pulling it off the agenda based on the information that she got.
Right, but I don't know what, that's what
We
I'm
don't know
saying.
the
It's a
Right,
matter of
well,
money.
we
I
don't have,
know.
well, we didn't, she hasn't shared any of that information.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking, did the HR director ask for this? Because here's what I'm under the understanding of. In May, at our board retreat, we went through each department twice. We did it in December, and we did it in May. There's no need to bring somebody else in to tell us what the director, and at that point in time, still interim superintendent and interim curriculum instruction person, told us the issues were. It was documented. It was on video. We have it documented on what was needed in each one of those departments. And if from what you just said, that they want to come in and do a look at each department, well, we already did that. And so if we've already done that, what is new, or what has come since May, that we need to be aware of? Because these individuals, there was no RFP, there was nothing brought forward outside of what we have right now to say that these individuals need to be in our district. And from a historical perspective and from how this works, when that happens, specifically with the consultants that we have already in the district, they have a history of taking information from a district like Pontiac and then turn around and use that information on the benefit of something else, where they're consulting in other areas that don't benefit our students. And so I'm just trying to get a better understanding on why do we need to go through something 3 times? So my first question is, did the director is the director of HR, did something change? I want to know that. And then also, if there's going to be consultants that's going to come in the district, that immediately, as the board have voted on, that they make the chair aware about these consultants, the who, what, when, where, how, and then we talk about it in board governance. That's all I'm asking for that second part.
Dr. Leverett?
So I did make Ms. Kellum aware. We had a conversation about it because we had initially, Trustee Garrett, we had talked about, at the retreat, we talked about human resources, we talked about a number of policies, procedures, the same with curriculum and instruction. So we're trying to draw the line to tell the story and be able to make sure that collectively, as a district, we're utilizing our resources, our people, as we talked about restructuring the district. I believe in February or March, we were talking about that. So we wanted an opportunity to circle back, to put a more comprehensive plan in place so that we could make informed decisions about how we will move the district forward.
So is this around the organizational chart then?
Yes, sir.
I was specifically saying where individuals or departments are probably top-heavy or not, or what that is?
This is a part of it, yes.
And that is a part of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So the HR director can't do that?
Yes, she could.
So why didn't we have the HR director just tell us what we need, as we've been doing for the last 2.5 years? Because they've already had, I don't know if you were not here in the district when we had that extra consultant to come in. And they came in and they were working with Ms. Kellum.
Right.
And so, for a whole year. And so I don't want that to get lost in the mix and bringing these other individuals in that we do not know.
Right. And one of the reasons for that, Trustee Garrett, was we never received any comprehensive report or recommendations from that initial service.
No, I agree. I mean, we asked for it. The person said they wasn't giving us the report. That's a whole nother thing. However, if the HR director who's been here, I'm counting on their expertise at this point to level out their department. Because what is happening is, if that does not happen, it's the accountability space. It's like, who do we hold accountable at this point? Because somebody can always reference somewhere else. I thought we were done with consultants, because you don't pay the type of money that we're paying for the positions that we're paying, and then bring in other folks to do their job, because that is a part of their job. And so it's something that we have to address. And another part of the consultant would be conversation of getting rid of these consultants, because you guys have certifications, you have things in the district, and we're double paying for positions that we shouldn't have.
And we've done it in a variety of different ways in the past. And I could just speak for curriculum and instruction. We've done it internally to where we had our own internal curriculum review, and it is quite time-consuming, and we've used outside consultants as well with curriculum and instruction.
No, I clearly understand that, but with no disrespect to what we just don't throw away 2 years and a half of work, because the purpose of even saying you go into interim was the fact that you were the curriculum instruction person.
Correct.
The fact of having the person that you chose to be the curriculum instruction person is strengthened because you obviously had confidence in that person. I don't feel comfortable bringing consultants in so that, because I don't know who's making the decisions in what particular area at that time.
Understood.
And so if you've done that, we have it documented. If the board needs to recap, because some board members were not there during the whole board retreat, if they need to recap and look at what we said we were doing, and then so we know who to hold accountable, because the next part of this is how we're going to begin to evaluate some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. And so that's all I'm saying with that.
Yes.
And if the HR director can be involved, or not just have a conversation too, but be directly involved, because that's who I, as an individual trustee, is going to hold accountable for HR as it relates to what we're finding as we're moving forward. That's all I'm
Thank you.
asking. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And this is still about us removing this
Yes.
from the agenda?
Yeah, it's-
Okay, Kraft,
I want to know,
use your mic.
it's directed to the superintendent. Doc, what's the process of picking the individuals to come in? Is there any protocol where you pick individuals, or is it a friends or family type thing where you know somebody that can come in that can pick up on $25,000 to come in? I'm just asking, as a board member, just finding what's the process of picking your consultants?
So it can happen in a variety of ways. We can put out an RFP, we could take recommendations, we vet those individuals based on the experience and prior work that they've had. In this situation, these consultants were brought to me by a recommendation, through recommendation.
Can you mind, just for clarity, just for who
Can you
who
elaborate
made that
on that?
recommendation?
Our consultant, Dr. Weatherspoon, brought the recommendation to us.
Okay. Thank you for letting me. Madam Chair. your-
Anything else?
No.
Kraft? Well, Kraft has
My
the floor.
question be to my question is to,
And we are paying him also, right? We're paying the consultant to consult somebody else. We got a consultant coming in here getting paid to pay somebody else to consult.
Wow.
okay.
That's what
Any
we
other
got.
questions, Kraft?
No, I'm done.
No. And again, we are removing this from the agenda, as we had said at the beginning. So all of these comments, all of these thoughts, Dr. Leverett, be taken into consideration.
Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, all right. So now we're going to move forward with approving our amended agenda, unless there's any other questions before we move forward with the approval of the amended agenda. All right. Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept the amended agenda?
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. It's been moved by trustee Gross and supported by trustee Garrett to approve the amended agenda. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett.
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah.
Yes.
Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you. Moving down to our awards and recognition, part of our agenda. Do the right thing. Washington DC, Dr.
Madam,
Lever.
we have to approve the amended agenda.
We have to approve the
Right.
amended agenda. All right,
I know,
let's
we want
back
to
it
get
up.
to it. Yeah, we got to approve the amended agenda.
Can I get a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Support.
It has been moved by trustee Gross, supported by trustee Garrett, right?
I
Yes.
did, but it don't matter.
Okay. Garrett to approve the amended agenda. Any questions? Roll call, please.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett.
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah.
Yes.
Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
That passes.
Thank you.
6-0.
All right, now we're moving forward with awards and recognition. Dr. Leverett?
Thank you.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right, thank you, President Hannah. Good evening, everyone. We are really excited to re-adjourn with this great opportunity that we have each and every year to recognize our students. And the first student for Do the Right Thing, WIRT, Ambassador for the Detroit Metro Region on the subject of how do we tackle youth violence. As an ambassador, they are received and collaborated with fellow youth leaders from across the country and globe to impact positive change. We are very excited this evening to present a certificate of distinction to Delija Mitchell. Delija is here this evening. This next certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Elon Harris in recognition of their selection as a Do the Right Thing Ambassador for the Metro Detroit region on the subject of how do we tackle youth violence. As an ambassador, they are received and collaborated with fellow youth leaders from across the country and globe to impact positive change. Congratulations, Elon Harris.
Good, man.
This next certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Isabella Larkins in recognition of her performance as a summer intern at the Bay Laboratory at Oakland University. We congratulate you on an outstanding summer filled with firsthand experience, STEM research in a world-class university setting. Isabella, congratulations. This was a great experience, and we are grateful to continue the partnership for next year. Teresa Rogers? Please give everyone a round of applause. Being able And let me just say before I turn it over to Teresa Rogers and Oakland University, this is an honor to be able to WRIT, do the right thing. It's one of the skills that we want our students to be highly proficient of, and these students have demonstrated that, as well as our students who are underrepresented in STEM programs. We were honored, and we hope that we can have some more students participate in the program, and we certainly appreciate you for the partnership. Teresa, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Interim Superintendent Dr. Leverett. It's a pleasure to be here this evening on behalf of Oakland University, and I just want to say we had the pleasure of talking to Mr. Harris in the waiting room, and he said that he is taking advantage of the Pontiac Promise Zone Scholarship and will be coming to Oakland University when he graduates from high school. So we also offer this opportunity to you as well. But I have here our professor of chemistry with me tonight, Dr. Cody, and he has requested from our pre-college programs department a student from Pontiac to come and do a summer internship with him. Yes. So he specifically said Pontiac, and so immediately, I called Dr. Leverett and Dr. Devison to say, can you give us somebody from Pontiac? So we're going to be doing this every year. We have a grant that supports that, and in addition, we had a number of students from Pontiac come to our summer business camp for the School of Business Administration, and it's my understanding that they will be here next meeting, right? And so you'll see us back, but I just want to take this opportunity to thank the superintendent. Tani is here somewhere, I think, Tani Clark Franklin over there, for just allowing us to continue to work with your students. And I was just doing the stats. We've had over 1,000 students on our campus at Oakland University, gave out, I think, 30 scholarships. Wade McCree, Promise Zone, they're coming through. So we love working with the students, and we thank you for the opportunity that you have given us to keep moving it forward. So without further ado, I'm going to have Dr. Cody come and tell you a little bit about the summer program that he was responsible for.
All right, thank you very much. It is my pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to present this opportunity. So this is a program that is funded by the National Science Foundation for the next 5 years, and my hope is that it will continue forever. So to get at least 2 students every summer from the Pontiac School District, and specifically underrepresented and minority students, so to study anything in STEM. So any student that is science inclined, that is interested in STEM education, my lab is open. So Isabella had a great time. She blended in well with the lab. My graduate students and doctoral students were all happy with her performance. So we are very delighted with this first pilot program, and we are hoping that it will continue for many summers. So thank you all for the opportunity, and I wish you all a nice board meeting. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, comments from the board?
Just simply thank you for continuing the partnership. I wish I can pick Isabella brain right now to kind of figure out what she gained over the summer, because that is very healthy for our students to really engage in an experience like that they can just kind of take on as early as who they are now. Like she, what is 11th grader? Isabella? She's 11th grader, right? She's a senior now, right? So, oh God, I'm getting old, Jesus Christ. But just to be able to follow that through this year and that momentum, right? And how she's going to pass that on to her friend, because if you ever met her, she's a bright star, right? She's been like that since 7th grade. So excited about it, and hopefully we can continue that partnership with those particular students to get that hands-on, active, much needed. And thank you, sir, for opening your lab to our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Gross?
Yes. One thing that this does when we present our children here, it shows us that what we can do as a village starts at home. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then it's forward to their teachers, who is, seen by their principals, and throughout the district. So it goes to show you what we're capable of doing as a family in Pontiac. So I commend all of you, especially home, the teachers, the principals, this administration, to this board, because our kids are showing us what they're capable of doing when we give them the best opportunities. Our job is to ensure that when Dr. Leverett and her team brings us things to ensure it's best for our children, we take a vote on it. People just think, oh, we just sit here because we're all pretty faces. And I understand. No, I'm just. But no, we're here because we do what we're supposed to do to ensure that these babies can go out and show you what they're capable of doing. And we have to be able to give them that opportunity. And I appreciate all of you Man, you look like I look on first Sunday, man, when I'm wearing my deacon outfit, man. You got the red tie on, man. You look like a young deacon, man. And I'm so proud, and I'm so proud of you. And it says a lot. So stay committed. Keep making us proud. And I have one question. I'm not going to ask it 3 times. But what school district are you from? Say it again. And Doc, where you at, Doc? What district you pulling the kids from, Doc?
Pontiac.
Say it one more time, Doc. I like your voice. I like it how you speak. My man. Thank you. Bless you all.
Thank you, Kraft.
Trustee Gross just stole my thunder because I want that suit. See, we can switch up right now. You can get the Pontiac suit, and I want that one. Right.
That's good.
Okay. I just wanted to say I'm proud of you guys, and it gives me the opportunity to go out in the community in different places, various places, and say we have quality students here, and you are exemplifying. You're a prime example of what we want out here out of our students. And thank you for being great students in our Pontiac district.
Thank you. Secretary Davis Smith.
I just want to congratulate the students again and their parents, and also thank you, Oakland University, for always partnering with us and bringing new things for our students to grow their education. Thank you.
Thank you. Terry?
I also want to say congratulations to each and every one of you. Continue that hard work, continue to strive, do your best at everything that you do. Continue to be that example for others. So whatever you do, just put your best foot forward and keep leading by example. So congratulations, and I wish you all the best through the rest of this middle school, and for the 11th grade, continue to push forward. I want to see you when you graduate. Thank you.
All right, I'm not going to rehash everything everybody said, but to Delija, so proud of you. This is a great start to the school year. Keep it up. Elin, same thing. So proud of you. Thank you. Just continue being a great example for your peers. You guys did it, so now they can look up to you. They can ask questions in case they're interested next summer, because we appreciate OU coming and really pouring in and investing in our students. So we definitely thank you for all that you do. So here is to a great school year, right? All right, thank you.
Can I say something as a parent? Is that okay? I don't know how to say words.
You go to the mic. You want to go to the mic, or you?
You know what? I'm old enough. Okay. Excuse me, don't make a child follow.
Thank you for approaching the mic.
Hi. So I'm Mom. Okay, I'm the mother of Elin Harris. And I want to personally say thank you to OU for working with our children and the Do the Right Thing program and the changes that y'all recently made in the board system. Because as a mother, I truly appreciate my child having that opportunity to go off to another state, to stay in a different area that I possibly could not. I can afford a $300-400 a night motel room. And that's where they stayed. They had an experience that I could not give them. They had access to different academic things. They saw the Supreme Court. They met with different senators and state representatives. And I am truly thankful for that, because me on my own, I couldn't have provided that. I can provide the education, I can work with my child, but we've had to pass a lot of opportunities because we couldn't afford it. It didn't matter how smart he was. When it came down to it, the money wasn't in place. So I definitely say thank you, because this was all paid for, all accommodated, and my son was able to stand and represent himself and be seen for who he is, which he might not have been seen before. So that's all I want to say.
Right on.
Thank you, Mom. Mom,
Yeah, Mom.
thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your transparency, for being, and that's what we're here for. We're here to make sure that we're able to step in and fill in the gap. So I appreciate you being honest and just saying that, but that is what we believe in doing here for the district, making sure that all of our kids, regardless of the situation or their circumstances, they have an opportunity for all of these opportunities are welcome for our students as well. So thank you for being transparent and sharing.
Madam Chair, if we could give them opportunity, I know the kids is getting late, so if their parents want to, you can leave now, if I'm asking you.
Yeah, if you guys want to leave out, step out, or if you want to stay for the. Okay, yep, nope, you're more than welcome to leave. Yes.
We don't want to keep you all here
No,
late.
thank you. Thank you, Delijah. Thank you for. All right, we're going to keep it moving.
See you next time, son.
Moving down, well, good evening.
Yes, that's my man.
Good evening, elected officials, once again.
They all better walk straight, I promise. No, we're going this way. He just might not.
Consent agenda. All right. Good evening once again to our elected officials. Moving down on our agenda to consent agenda items. Can I get a motion for the approval of the consent agenda?
So move.
Thank you. It's been moved by Trustee Gross, supported by VP Bowman to approve our consent agenda. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Got a crash.
Trustee Gross,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
See,
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
and I'm voting yes. That passes.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Moving on down to information from superintendent and administration. Dr. Leverett, the meeting is yours.
Thank you, President Hannah. Trustees, this evening, we will start with Dr. Devison, whose curriculum and instruction will give an overview. We're really excited about the direction that we're headed. And this is as we move into educate, empower, excite. This is this team's opportunity to share with you, excuse me, their mission and vision in terms of supporting student learning. Dr. Devison, excuse me.
Good evening to everyone. Curriculum and Instruction would like to thank our community for this opportunity to show that our number one priority is student achievement, academically, socially, and emotionally. With that being said, this is our curriculum and instruction team, which I will say is the number one team in America, right? So as we do our work, we will navigate our systems through the blueprint, which you know we have talked about in the past. The blueprint is the way to align the district in all of its efforts. And with that being said, in the middle, so it's a diagram, but in the middle, we have the communication protocol, problem-solving driver, and the performance management. With the communication protocol, we want to make sure that we communicate with all stakeholders about all programming. So that's the first start, is to be able to communicate to parents, to our community, to our staff, and that is the communication protocol. Then we have the problem-solving driver system. And the problem-driving system is how we review data. And so you have probably heard in the past DTN and BTN. DTN is our district turnaround network that meets monthly. When I say monthly, that's with the school and also with the CNR team. In addition to that, we will be meeting bi-weekly to talk about how we process things as it relates to problem-solving protocol around data. Then the buildings will be doing building turnaround network meetings where they'll meet monthly to talk about their data. So when you think about problem-solving protocol, just real simply, you'll say, what do you predict about the data? What is the actual data? And then taking some action with the data. And then lastly, we have the performance management protocol. And the performance management protocol, we will meet 5 times a year to review data at all levels. And just to name a few, attendance will be monitored, academics will be monitored, and also the social emotional needs will be monitored. So just so you know, we are reinstituting the blueprint, not that we have not been doing it, but we want to do it with fidelity. So that's where how we're going to monitor, how we provide student achievement within our district. So with that being said, I'm going to have each one of my team members come up. And the first person is Ms. Jennifer Dean, who is over data and assessment. Yes,
As your team is coming up, we do have a question.
sure, I'm sorry.
No, come on, it's just
Yeah.
a quick question. As it pertains to those,
The drivers.
yes, as it pertains to monitoring them, reviewing them, and seeing them, how often, especially attendance is extremely important. And it's not something that we can look at after 3 months of school, another 3 months of school, and then talk about it at a board retreat. No, I think it's extremely important that those specific things, some of those specific things, if not all of them, that we have a continuous monitoring and see where we are and what's going on and where we are in that level. Because as it pertains to attendance, and I said this before, and it's highly important that we have our attendance agents, because we have 3 of them, but they don't make contact with students until after 15 days have been missed, according to this current process or policies or procedure. So my concern is, what do we do when we have students who have missed 2 days, 5 days, 8 days, 14 days, prior to the agents getting involved? And I think it's highly important that we take a look at that prior to us getting to those 15 days missed and see what we can do to prevent them from getting to 15 days. That's why I have a question as it pertains to attendance. And I'm glad you're saying this, but I think it's extremely important because I don't know the policy, procedures, or process to deal with attendance prior to days, up to 15 days. What do we do?
So I want to assure you that attendance will be monitored way before those number of days. So tomorrow we have a principals meeting and we're going to be looking at first time present, how many people have been missing, and we are having dialogue about that more than the monthly. We will be looking at attendance consistently, and then I'm communicating with the building principals and they're giving us that report, and then we're going to be doing an initiative with the Attendance Works, which the Student Services is going to be assisting us with that process as well. So we will not be waiting 15 days.
No, good. No, that's great. And it's not attack towards anybody. This is dear to my heart because I am a truancy liaison part-time through Oakland schools. And they won't allow me to have Pontiac, which I want, because I'm here and I'm on the board, I'm from here, whatever. But I sit in those meetings when discussions are talked about attendance. And I want to be the one to hear that. I want to hear, well, Pontiac's on it. We haven't even utilized a truancy liaison or a truancy agent from Oakland schools to deal with our truancy because Pontiac is dealing with it. I'm waiting to hear that because I know we're capable of doing so. But I'm also part of the school improvement team, and that's something you and I said we're going to sit down and talk about on what we can do to enhance and improve in specific areas as it pertains to student achievement. And attendance is a big one because you can't teach them if they ain't here.
Correct.
And so I think that's important. And I'm just bringing that to your attention because I'm glad to hear what you're saying, and I think it's highly important. But I want us to really take a focus. I think attendance to me is one of the tops because we can't educate a child if they're not attending school. And ours is to know your child's profile, know what's going on in their life for them not being here. And some of it is medical, some of it is mental. So we need to understand that, and then we can deal with that and improve on our attendance. And that's all, because that's dear to my heart, because I think it's important. All of it's important. I think this is highly important.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair. Go ahead, Ms. Dean.
Good evening. Okay, so, there we go. Okay, so I wanted to talk tonight about Renaissance DNA. So formerly, you've probably heard me talk about Illuminate DNA or EduClimber. Renaissance is a company that bought out Illuminate, so now when I refer to those things, I'll refer to them as Renaissance. Part of that buyout was Now, Renaissance is offering us all of the online modules for using their system. So one of the big challenges with getting this program up and running is focusing so much on the delivery of the ELA and math instruction in the core content areas, as it should be, finding time to get in front of the teachers to give them the training on these pieces. So on August 27th, a majority of the teachers in the district spent time going through these online modules. We had really great feedback about it. There were a few teachers who said they would appreciate face-to-face hands-on, so I'll make arrangements to work with them in the future. But for the most part, everybody appreciated that self-paced online learning. They said I could pause the video, I could go in the system and try it out, and go back to the video, and they really appreciated that. Another group of PD that day was the middle school science teachers. So we actually have the assessments for middle school science built in the system. So the students will go online and take those assessments, and it looks very similar to the MSTEP, the PSAT. So while we're not teaching to the test, we're providing them opportunities to be familiar with that platform and have that experience. So they're building their stamina and they're more familiarized with it when they come into those higher stakes state assessments. So those 6 through 8 teachers gave us phenomenal feedback. They were really excited about this. What's nice about it is the teachers don't have to go through and individually grade each student assessment. There might be some open-ended questions that they would have to go in and score manually, but the system links the questions to the standards. So for each student, they get a report of what standards they're strong in, where they can start building on, and maybe kind of be more intentional about their delivery of instruction and what lessons they really need to focus on throughout their units. So very excited about that. And then we're also working on getting our 6 through 12 social studies aligned into that system as well. Eventually, the goal is to have all of our core curriculum unit assessments in there, so we're not just looking at that 3 times a year data with the iReady or the NWA, but we have a system online where we can be monitoring students very closely with all of the content areas. Because we already have so much information with ELA and math through iReady and NWA, we're focusing first on those middle school, or on, the science and social studies. So that's my update for data.
Thank you.
I believe I'm turning it over to Mr. Sherman now.
I have a quick question.
Ms. Yvette Williams.
Ms. Dean?
Yes.
So I know that when we're tracking the data, the teachers can read it and it pulls up. Now, does the student get a report to show them where they are, where their difficulties and things, so they can see where they may need to pay a little more attention, the students themselves can see?
Yes, so that was, I believe, 2 years ago. The focus that I started with both iReady and NWA was how to access those student reports and how to have data conversations with the students. So they could walk the students through their data and the students could understand what they needed to. And I think I've shared stories about when I go in and support in the middle school and the students come in, and I can tell they've had those data conversations because they know what they need to get and they're focused on those tests, and when they finish, they do their little celebration if they've met their goals. And we'll have that same type of information out of these unit assessments as well once those are built across the board.
Now, is it when the student requests, or when the teacher looks into that information, is it instantly shared with the student? I just want to know that the student has every opportunity to know that it exists, and each time, the opportunity to have access to that information if they want to support their own selves.
So it looks different by grade level. That type of conversation with the kindergartner looks very different from that kind of conversation with a high schooler. So when we rolled out data conversations, we talked about kind of looking at some class information to help kindergartners look at that information. Actually, K through 2, we kind of said, let's break it down that way as we move into 3rd grade. Then we start intentionally pulling students. Data conversations with one-on-one students can be a lengthy process, so we've advised, focusing on students within certain tiers, but every student has access to their reports. They actually have a place where they can go when they're in iReady and they can look, and the parents have access to that as well to see where they're at.
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I guess just, are we gonna have like a drill down version of this in board governance where this is just the only thing that's on the particular agenda because I'm really excited about really getting back to this piece since we did have the we had the board retreat. We were able to identify certain issues specifically of why certain things wasn't happening as far as deliverables are concerned as it relates to professional development. And I just want to make sure that if that speaks to the alignment of curriculum and instruction that we spoke to earlier, that we're on that pace, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
because I understand, and I know this is probably just for public knowledge, and I don't want to tie up, I have
Right.
several questions, but it needs to be like picked up. Like this is a be continued conversation.
Totally.
For me, it's not like the first time we've had this conversation. I hear some things that's kind of geared towards the public versus what we hear, and I don't want to say that they have the information and they're given the information, but specifically there's some things that need to be aligned.
Yeah.
But I have some questions to that, and I don't want to.
Yeah, no, this won't be the last conversation that we have from curriculum and instruction. We just wanted to give them a chance to kind of help us to see where we're going. In terms of the school year is just getting started, they've already started their planning as to what their expectations are. So this is kind of just a preview of, this is our plans for the beginning of the school year. But yes, to answer your question,
Yeah.
we could definitely have them to attend our board governance meetings where we're able to get more in detail and ask more specific questions as it relates to any of their respective areas.
And I'm asking more so sooner than later. Like
Okay.
I know this is not the last time, but we're in that space where I hear what they're saying, but there's some challenges
Okay?
that's been identified that we haven't came back to say, okay, how do we plan on looking at?
Yes, that will
Looking at
definitely
that.
be a board
Right.
governance where we
Right,
can
that's what I'm
really.
saying. That's all I'm
develop-
asking.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
So thank you for the presentation. I have questions, but I'm going to wait till
Okay,
to that board governance and that space.
okay,
Right.
thank
In
you.
addition to that, we are going to have the schools come and present moving forward as well, and we will bring that information at that opportunity as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, madam.
And I will turn it over to Ms. Yvette Williams for MTSS.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Yvette Williams. I'm the Multi-Tiered Support System Coordinator for Pontiac School District, and I'm here to talk with you about our multi-tiered support system. So if we can go to the, I have the clicker. Going backwards. Okay. So our multi-tiered support system focuses on educating the whole child. Under our multi-tiered support system, we support social and emotional behavior with students, academic, attendance, and family engagement. Our multi-tiered support system is a comprehensive framework which is comprised of a collection of research-based strategies designed to meet the individual needs and assets of the whole child. It intentionally interconnects the education, health, and human service systems in support of successful learners, school centers, and community outcomes. Our multi-tiered support system has 5 essential interrelated components. Number 1 being team-based leadership, 2 being tiered delivery system, 3 being the selection and implementation of instruction, interventions, and supports, 4 being comprehensive screening and assessment system, and then 5 being our continuous database decision-making. This system efficiently organizes school and district resources to support educators in the implementation of effective practices with fidelity for the success of all of our learners. So, within our multi-tiered support system, we offer various initiatives in our district. Number 1 being our universal screeners. I'm sure that Jennifer Dean, our data and assessment coordinator, will speak some more in meetings to come in regards to our iReady universal screener for our academic assessment. In addition to that, in years past, we've used SRSS and MACI 2 as our behavioral and mental health screeners. And this year, we are moving more towards a new universal screener from Renaissance, coming soon to align our district resources and more effectively and efficiently support our students across the K-12 system. Our universal screeners can help identify students who may be struggling with academic, behavioral, and social emotional concerns in school completion as well as college and career readiness. In addition to the universal screeners, we have our student support network monthly meetings that occur, district-wide monthly meetings, and we also have those meetings that occur either bi-weekly, weekly, or monthly within the schools. We have our Section 504 quarterly meetings where we ensure that our students are being supported through those 504 plans effectively. We also have the positive behavior intervention system where we piloted that positive behavior intervention system at the middle school last school year, and now we're expanding to 4 additional schools this school year and opening up the opportunity for all of our schools to participate this year with a primary focus on the 5 schools, the 4 we're piloting this year and the 1 that we did last year, but supporting all other schools that are interested. We also have student check-ins that occur at the elementary and secondary level where we're checking in on how they're doing each day and teaching them to become self-aware as it relates to their social emotional well-being. The elementary student check-ins occur daily, and the secondary check-ins occur twice a week. We like to check in with them after they come back from the weekend to see how they're doing emotionally, and then we like to check in with them before we send them home at the end of the week to make sure they're okay. In addition to that, we have restorative practices that occur at the administrative level, at the administration level, as well as at the classroom level for students to help them restore relationships and do conflict resolution with their peers in the classroom as well as in small groups, and then we can do it at a district level as well with them. We have our second step social emotional learning curriculum that is implemented this year. I'm excited to say it started K-5, expanded to K-8, and this year we're at K-12. Thank you, Ms. Clark Franklin, for bringing it to the high school. And I know that Mr. Carafa will be watching your implementation this year for consideration for ITA. So I'm excited about that. Mindfulness activities are occurring every day throughout the day in all of the schools, and our school student support networks are in charge of determining what mindfulness activities they like to implement school-wide as well as in individual classrooms. In addition to that, every classroom in our district should have calming corners where students will have time during class time without having to leave the classroom to de-escalate, become aware of their social emotional well-being, and to possibly watch videos or do some type of activity that'll help return them back to the classroom, back within the class group within 6 to 8 minutes. And then we have, and thank you, Ms. Kellum, for bringing in, we're getting adult calming rooms in every school, so I'm so excited about that.
Like that.
And next, under Dr. Leverett's leadership, even though we've been doing a lot of restorative and resilient things in our district, especially since the pandemic has occurred, but even before then, but even more so since the pandemic, we are really focusing on making sure that we are a restorative and resilience-centered district. With that being said, we've developed a committee to focus on supporting that goal. And that committee is supporting with leadership development, collaboration, and engagement. We're planning to begin leadership training in trauma-structured sensory interventions. And that was knowledge gained from several of us who attended training through Star Commonwealth at Oakland schools. And now we can currently say we have 3 certified trauma and restorative specialists of education and clinicians in our district, myself being one, Dr. Leverett being one, and then we have Dr. Charman, who is the principal of ILA. So I'm excited about that. In addition to that, we are doing PBIS leadership training, where we are inviting members of the school's Student Support Network to participate in leadership training at our Principals Institute each month, where they will learn about the positive behavior intervention system, how to support it in their building, how to facilitate professional learning in their building, to build leadership skill sets in others within their buildings. So looking forward to that. Our Student Support Network members' leadership development is occurring in our monthly meetings. And then I have a team of 5 people that are participating in that, where we're teaching them leadership strategies and facilitation skills. And lastly, empowering administration, staff, and students and parents with trauma-informed information, restorative practices to enhance student resilience, support a successful learning experience, and efforts to develop the whole district and community. So I'm so excited about that and looking forward to what the future holds for our multi-tiered support system.
Excellent.
Thank you all.
Excellent.
Now I am turning it over to Dr. Alisea, our English Language Learners Director.
Buenas noches. This graph represents the percentage of enrollment of English learner students per school district in Oakland County. As you can see, Pontiac School District has the highest percentage of enrollment of English learner students, and this number continues to grow. We're very proud of this fact. A few of the factors that have contributed to this increase is increasing and recognizing and honoring the cultural and linguistic diversity of our students, parents, and staff, promoting and strengthening the two-way communication between the school and the home, and a direct alignment across our English language development curriculum for all our English learner students in grades kindergarten to 12th grade. One of the Pontiac School District incorporates SIOP teaching strategies for English learner students. The SIOP model is a research-based model of instruction that is designed to increase the academic achievement of all students, particularly English learner students. And the 8 components of the SIOP model includes lesson preparation, building background knowledge, comprehensible input, strategies, interaction, practice and application, lesson delivery, and review and assessment. And all of our English learner teachers have been trained in the SIOP model of instruction. The goals for our ESL education program are to ensure that English learner students master the same high academic standards required of all learners, and to create a safe and multicultural and nurturing learning environment that's free of barriers for all students and families, and to strengthen the two-way relationship with families and communities, and to provide effective professional development in the area of language acquisition for English learner students. I was told to make that concise, so that was concise. And the next presenter is Dr. Jameson, who is Director of Special Services.
All right.
Yes.
Good evening and happy Monday. In case you don't know, I'm Dr. Arnella Jameson, Director of Special Services and Student Equity for the Pontiac School District. Just kidding. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm super excited that this district is an inclusive district. It's an inclusive district producing intelligent, inclusive scholars who will be inclusive, productive citizen of the Pontiac community, and that includes our students with IEPs. I wanted to share with you guys tonight that once again, we be on that roll where we have an increasing number of CI students or cognitive impaired students. And then one year we have a increased number of ASD students, autism students. Well, we back at that again where we have an increase in the number of our ASD population. But even with that, I'm happy that even though the numbers are increasing, we are doing a really good job of servicing those students. And they're not coming in self-contained classrooms. When we are evaluating, I'm charging our evaluation team to make sure that we're looking at these students to look at least restricted environment, where we're looking in the generated classrooms with support. So I'm happy to share that that's one of the things that we are seeing more of our ASD students are in mainstream. I have some pictures here which shows some of our students that, a couple of them were recognized, 3 of them were recognized last year as high-performing students. So those are mainstream students who are on track for a diploma. So that makes me very proud to know that we are doing a really good job of looking at least restricted environment and giving these students an opportunity as general ed students first, instead of just saying these students have an IEP. So we, just place them in a self-contained classroom and they leave here with a certificate of completion. The second thing is, I have a picture of our ASD population, and they're at some of our ITA students who are performing really well there. Our Kennedy students, we are seeing an increase in that population as well, and they are involved in a curriculum, life-changing curriculum, and it's a curriculum-based instruction and work-based learning. And the great thing, not the good thing, but the great thing about this is they are shared with them ways or strategies of how to be, proud and productive in the community. We teach them daily living skills, independent living skills. We want them to leave Kennedy and, be able to be independent. So, not sitting on the couch at home with the parents. And so, with our work-based learning, I have charged Ms. Janice McGee, our transition coordinator, she did a really good job last year, but even take that farther. So she's really doing well with them because we want to look at an increase in their employability skills.
Excellent.
Okay. Oh, pointing towards Cynthia? Okay. The next slide you'll see is our focus for the year, special ed focus for the year. And our focus is going to be LRE, least restricted environment, and compliance. We always have to, compliance is number one as we provide services to the students. But with LRE, we know that the state has already told us they're coming out to make site visits, on-site visits. So we want to make sure that we're in compliance, but also that when they come in to visit, they see us servicing the students according to the services that the students should receive per their IEP. So as we look at LRE, the mainstreaming, that would also help us decrease our 1% participation rate, which is pretty high right now. So we want less students. We want to decrease that 1%, those students who are taking alternate assessment, and increase the students who are taking, our regular assessments. So with that, it would decrease the percentage rate, but increase the LRE percentage, which we must do as a district because it's too high right now. And that would also increase our graduation rate. So all of these are lined together. And the next focus is compliance, of course. As we struggle with all staff completing their documentation on time. Medicaid billing, we're doing extremely well with that. I'm glad to say we are get kudos from the Oakland schools regarding timely completion of our Medicaid billing. And so we want to make sure we are making the staff are completing their documentation, service logs, communication logs, medical, whatever. So that's part of our focus for the year. As well as working with the students who we see coming in the door with social emotional issues. So we did hire, thank you, Dr. Leverett and Dr. Davison for the approval. We have a social worker who has a background in that social emotional as well as ABA therapy. Let's do it. Our goal this year is to meet our IEP goals and objectives, because we know as the students meet their IEP goals and objectives, we're able to see progress, and that's measurable progress. So that's our goal is for the students to meet the IEP goals and objectives, and to lower the number of students taking an alternate assessment, because with that, we'll see progress toward meeting our 1% participation rate that's required by the state, which means in compliance, and increase the number of special education students graduating with a high school diploma, which means access to the general education curriculum, which means more students are being mainstream, which means it increases our LRE percentage, which means it decreases our participation rate. So all of those things mean compliance. Thank you for your attention. I had a little bit more, but I'm going to end that and wait for the next meeting. All right, thank you. Oh, let me introduce my next partner in crime is Ms. Jeter.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As they said, my name is Ms. Jeter. I am the literacy supervisor for the district. I wanted to talk about the ways that we are educating, empowering, and exciting for literacy. In August, we have started our Wit and Wisdom Leaders Cohort, where 9 teachers and 3 literacy coaches, 1 teacher from each building, K-8, participated in a training on wit and wisdom. They are being trained on how to become experts in that program, as well as how to support their colleagues in the program. So we are going to participate in multiple sessions. It's going to cover a variety of topics like complex tests, text, writing, speaking and listening, and assessments. They will receive job-embedded coaching, as well as leadership and implementation support, and it's going to build their leadership skills around literacy. Our focus for literacy is assessment and fostering motivation and engagement for reading, bringing back the joy into reading. And we're going to do that by administering our core assessments. We're going to be doing some data digs and looking at the assessments to keep progress monitoring for students in our phonics program as well as in our reading program. We're going to continue working with parents. Last year I did some work with the Pontiac Parent Partnership, where parents were able to join me and learn about strategies and skills they can use at home, not necessarily reading to 20 minutes to your kids, but how to incorporate reading in those everyday things, as well as math, like doing laundry or cooking meals or even going grocery shopping. So how reading and math and science is embedded in those everyday skills that they use at home. They were also given resources that they can use with their children, and parents really enjoy that. As a matter of fact, they ask for more. So we're going to try to find ways to get parents more of that. Also, I wanted to start a Pontiac is Lit initiative, where I will be going out and visiting events to share literacy with parents. A lot of people don't understand that text isn't just in books, but it's in movies. We can look at movies as text as well as art as text. So showing parents how they can ask comprehension questions around movies, how they can use art to ask comprehension and build comprehension skills within their students. So I'm planning on attending the movie night. I created a whole, Spider-Man universe thing and bought books and everything. So I really want to get out and share literacy strategies with parents as well as the community. Another thing is, last year we did the book author from book breaks, where students can do virtual visits from authors. This year we expanded it to the middle school, and we are partnering with Pontiac Library in Kensington to offer book clubs to align with the books that that they can visit the authors with. We are going to provide students with books that they can take home to build their at-home libraries, and then they'll be able to look at those author visits and ask questions of the authors, either virtually or in a written form. We are also trying to do some community collaborations. In our written wisdom resource, there's a lot of science as well as social studies. So we want students not only to learn about it in the resource, but experience it in their local community. So partnering with the Pontiac Library for like first grade, who learns about how children from all around the world access books. So I want students to know how they can access books in their local community. So Pontiac Library has agreed to come out and meet with the first grade students and discuss how they can access books right here in Pontiac. As well as the fourth grade students who talks about a great heart, both figuratively and literally, partnering with the CTE, the PCT program, and having the students come out and provide students with blood pressure monitoring and teach them how to take care of their heart. Because we all know that in the African American community, heart disease runs rapid. So teaching them in an early age, how do we take care of our own heart and have a good heart figuratively as well as literally. For social studies, Ruth Polis, our social studies coach, worked really hard over the summer creating common assessments for teachers. In August, teachers were able to review those common assessments and give feedback as well and create a rubric for scoring. So all around, we are looking at assessments and progress monitoring so that we can catch students early and find out what they need early on. And I will turn it over. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you. I always forget to ask that. I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer Dean, who is standing in for Stacy Jackson in her absence.
Good evening again. I've got some very large shoes to fill up here tonight, so bear with me as I try to convey Ms. Jackson's messaging. So she wanted to share tonight the 23H grant that she was approved for that is bringing $181,000 to the Pontiac School District. What she wanted to focus on.
Excellent.
So part of this focus will be on improving teaching and learning, as well as purchasing K-5 supplies for students that will engage them in high-quality instruction, with a focus on considerations for our multilingual learners and our African-American students, making sure that we're providing exciting, equitable instruction. And there's also a component here to engage the parents and the community partners as well. So again, providing strategies with how they can work with their students at home. Under Section 3 of the 23H grant, this would be providing taking our current math coach that we have and training that person as a specialized math recovery specialist. And then that math recovery specialist will be able to train the teachers on how to provide their interventions to students. And there's also specific courses that are available to the teachers for up to 5 teachers. And that's that AVMR1 is Advantage training, which is Advantage math recovery training for those teachers. And that would focus on giving students a short cycle diagnostic, figuring out what interventions they need, and the intervention materials would be provided, and helping students to really hone in on the individual student needs for intervention. Another piece of this would be the EPIC, Essential Practices in Instruction. And this is a partnership with Oakland Schools. And again, it's just to really focus on improving our math instruction and making sure that we're meeting our students' needs. And this would be a focus for 4th through 6th grade teachers. And it's also going to utilize those short-term data cycles to make sure that we're staying on top of what our students need and intervening quickly before things get too far behind for the students. So that's the math portion. I would try to answer questions.
Thank you.
And then moving into science. So currently, my slide got messed up there a little bit. Currently, our elementary students are using Phenomenal Science, and that's a program that within the last 5 years was something that we implemented, vetted, and adopted. Middle school is using MyStar Science. And I talked a little bit about how we're taking those assessments and integrating them as well, so that, again, we're monitoring students more frequently, more on time. The next focus with science would be to get into our high school. We know that we need to do some updates in high school as we've updated elementary and middle school. We found that we're heavy in middle school physical science. We currently offer ninth grade physical science, but we maybe need to look at offering biology for ninth grade instead of physical science for ninth grade. So really kind of auditing what we're currently doing. I see you. Auditing what we're currently doing with the high school science department, what current resources we have, and then look at available curriculums that are out there and begin that resource adoption program like we've done with the elementary and the middle school. Okay. And now I will introduce Mr. Sherman to come up and talk about CTE.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Glad to be here with you this evening. A few updates coming out of the CTE department now that we're into the new school year. We have successfully launched the 2 new programs in my department, the General Teacher Cadet Program with early childhood education and our aviation programs. We have launched the first set of courses in the Ed General pathway, child development, leading into the first concurrent enrollment course, which will happen in the second semester for 1 credit, and then also the aviation courses at the high school, and then 1 at the middle school in the afternoon as we're beta testing the middle school curriculum. I think one of 5 or 6 districts across the country that were selected for that through AOPA. So very happy to say those programs are now off the ground. And then we have also taken one of the courses in the business admin area, career skills and technology, and have deployed it in the 8th grade. There are 2 sections of it being taught at the 8th grade at the middle school, 2 at ITA, to hopefully capture the majority of our 8th graders in a CTE pathway this year. So when they come in next year, we can keep them there, funnel them into one of the other programs there. So, and those kids, as long as they get the C or better in the course, they'll have the 0.5 high school credit already down before they even walk in the doors at Pontiac High School. So another check for them going into that. We are looking at 2 new state programs this year. Computer programming, our IT program is going to go up for state approval, so we can hopefully capture some funding this year for that, and then solidify the aviation program. I'm working with the AOPA. They are aligning the program to the Perkins competencies, so we're hopefully going to get that done in the fall. I've already put in the request to get the application open so we can hopefully get this done and out of the way shortly. The other focus is college and career readiness with Oakland schools. We had our consultants down for the first day of the 2 large PD days before TIDS came back to put a little more of an emphasis on this. Right now, a lot of our teachers think Zello is kind of the thing and like another thing we have to do. So this was more of a hands-on approach, especially at the elementary level, showing how easy college and career readiness can be. So what we did K through 2, you see a couple pictures from here, is one of the 5 industries that Oakland Schools has aligned with, health sciences. These teachers made the lungs. We pilot tested this at the end of last year at Rogers, and it went over really well, and that teacher wanted the other 4 that we had. So kind of blowing that up a little more. We did Pathful at the middle school, and then kind of expanded a little more on Zello at the high school, showing what the EDPs can do, and the college interests and career interest surveys, and we're basically scratching the surface with Zello right now. So I'm starting to dive in a little more to that and what we can do with it at the high school level. So, but showing a lot of teachers like this isn't just another task, like it can be easy to do. And there's going to be some stuff going to the schools very soon for careers in a box and stuff for them to use that all the teachers can use. So, and they got a little bit of taste of that with this. So a few things of where we're going to be going hopefully shortly in the new school year. So any questions? Yes, sir.
What is aviation class? Aviation?
Mm-hmm.
When do they meet? Tomorrow.
So they are on so periods 1 through 4 at the high school, and then 5th period at the middle school. So morning, first half of the day over at the high school.
Okay, because that's one program that I'm really proud of, and I want to make sure that I'm in there to support those students, because those are the people that I ran into in Orlando a couple years ago, and now that dream is a reality now here.
I know Glenn was very happy when we got into this school year and we got it going, so.
Right. So, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question? Gross? Garrett?
Yeah, just a quick question. So in 2 So these are just on an elective pathway until we get a state approved for them to have the credits?
Yes.
Okay. And so what we look for that, like you say the fall, so that would be?
So the window for that will open sometime in mid to late September. We'll close before Thanksgiving, and then I will get notified January, February if it was approved or not. And then it'll be retroactive to the beginning of the year.
Okay. All right. I'll save my other questions for.
Thank you. You look good out there doing that weather, man.
No, thank you.
That field was beautiful.
The careers in the box that you mentioned, is that just for K-5, K through 5?
That is for K-5, yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Wow. Great job. You excited?
So we wanted to end tonight with our celebrations, and I wanted to speak to, we had a move of Alcott and Harrington together and also at ITA. And I would just like to give a positive report that it is running smoothly. The curriculum and instruction was on the grounds running day one, including Dr. Leverett. We were in the buildings making sure the students were where they were supposed to be successfully. We're constantly going into the building. So just so you know, that is running smoothly today. Also, we have RAG funds that were awarded to our district, and with the RAG funds, it is funds that we can request because of some of our partnership schools as it relates to the MyKIP and working with MDE. And I just wanted to celebrate Mr. Sherman. When I first came on, one of the things that we wanted to do was monitor professional development within our district, and we were awarded the RAG funds with Frontline Professional Learning Management, which will help us monitor professional development within our district. So if teacher A goes to a professional development, we have a system. Originally, we were kind of doing a paper process, so we're in the process of working with Mr. Sherman and also Michelle Johnson, who monitors that and reports that to the Michigan Department of Ed so that teachers can get sketchy. So we want to, number one, thank Brian for that support, and then secondly, we were awarded it. In addition to that, we were awarded RAG funds for disciplinary literacy training and support, and that is by way of Ms. Jeter. And as I said at the beginning, we are doing the blueprint reinstitution, and it is a dream of mine that in 3 to 5 years that we see 50% of academic achievement in all levels. That is my prayer. So if you pray, put a prayer through for that, because we're hopeful that if we follow the blueprint reinstitution, that we will see results. We can't be talking about it and not be about it. We have to monitor and see some action. And then ultimately, the communication protocol, we are following that. We're offering customer service. We're in the buildings. We sent out an email in Spanish and in English where we are greeting families with honoring each one's culture, saying, good morning, how are you? We look forward to seeing you the next day. So, and we're doing that in English and in Spanish. And I'll be honest, with all of us on the grounds, I saw so many happy faces with us just providing good, high quality customer service at all levels. And like I said, we made sure that our PAO officers, our custodians, our food service were informed of being able to greet people in English and in Spanish so people feel welcome within our district.
Excellent.
And then on our last page, we were granted a literacy grant, and this is, Pontiac is the only district receiving funds that is using the monies for the items aligned with the grant purpose. We were also awarded the 23H Improving Mathematics Teaching and Learning Grant, which Jennifer Dean spoke to earlier, as Ms. Yvette Williams talked about a new restorative and resilience center district. That is our goal. And then like last but definitely not least, Great Minds would like to nominate Pontiac School District for the Knowledge Matters campaign for our work with providing high-quality, knowledge-based instruction to elementary students in the mental health COVID grant. So we are on the move for something, and I promise you, every time that we present from curriculum and instruction, our number one goal is that student achievement improves, but not only that, when we present in front of you, that we present with facts and knowledge. And I would like to say thank you so much for this presentation. I hope that we were able to express how we're doing and what we're doing as it relates to curriculum and instruction.
Thank you. Great job. Quick question.
Yep.
Doc, this was excellent, and I'm glad to hear this, and I think this is updates that are needed throughout the year. My question as it pertains to our homeless population. Where are we? And I know it's early, school just started, but at some point in time, within the near future, can we get a count or amount or where we are as it pertains to how many homeless students are in the district and what we're doing and provisions for them?
Absolutely.
And how it's affecting them academically. So if we can look at that too, because that's one of the concerns we had before, and I think that's important because you gave us everything, and so this was great. And let's keep moving forward. I think this is excellent. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Dr. Leverett, we are down discussion items. Baggage scanners from Pontiac School District buildings.
Yes, this is for, yes, please.
I'll get it. Yep.
We could have did that.
You know what? I know you like that, yo.
He didn't catch that.
Two jobs.
Thank you, Chief Gross. So at this time, we would just wanted to bring before the board for discussion and action, conversation around new bag scanners for Pontiac School District building, and we were looking to purchase 12. Chief Gross and I met last week. We had a great conversation. He initially had proposed I believe the purchase of 6 scanners. We talked about if the price could be brought down if we were to get the total number that is needed for the district, and we were able to get 3 quotes as well as pricing that was for the 12 scanners again as opposed to 12. So at this time, I turn over to Chief for further discussion.
Good evening, everyone. The bag scanners, we looked at 3 companies. The prices on a couple of them were just astronomical. One was like $41,000 per scanner, and the other was close to that too, and they were up to $500,000 almost for those. The company that we decided to go with is Metal Defenders. We got quotes for 12 scanners, which was $15,000, but they lowered the cost down to $11,000 because of the number of scanners that we ordered. This is a company that we looked at that other school districts and even airports and stuff use this company to bring in, use as bag scanners. We decided to go to put some in the elementaries also, because the days that we're in right now, even kids that age are bringing in weapons and things, so we just want to be proactive in looking at that. The scanners that we have now are obsolete. All we've been doing is paying Peter to, pay Paul, because the parts were that we got, they would repair them, and then they would break down continuously. Now, we also did some research as far as those metals, those scanners, bag scanners are 16 years old. And in the past, we've been informed that we should be replacing at the school level every 5 to 7 years, replacing those systems. So we've been piecemealing everything to make sure that we have bag scanners that are working throughout the day. This last week has just been hard on us because we brought in a company. Buying those parts was just expensive, and they may work then sometimes temporarily, and then they break down. So it's time now that we should be able to purchase these new bag scanners.
Agreed.
Thank you. VP Bowman.
Do we have, once this is approved, do we have a time frame for implementation and phasing in and out?
Yes. Oh, and we learned too, they're plug and play. There is nothing hard about them to get them activated and working. They're giving us the tables that go along with it. When the bags go through the scanners, they come out to the table. It'll be by the end of the month that we'll have our scanners for the...
All 12 installed in place?
We'll have 8 first, and then the next 4 will come in a couple of weeks after that, because we ordered so many at that time. So we're getting what they have in stock. Also, they have a 24-hour service. If it breaks down, they will come in within 24 hours to repair it. If it can't be repaired, they'll automatically replace them. So this is with the 5-year warranty also.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, comments?
Question. Chief, is that the actual scanner on the picture?
Yes.
So, you know, I'm big on things blending in. If you can get with Mr. Holcomb and see how we can make it
purple,
kind of blend in to the environment.
Yeah. Yeah, because they look
since
nice.
they're going to be there. They're nice, but just...
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's just...
That's sweet. Look at that.
I mean, just blend into the environment. That's all I'm asking.
It looks like the one at the airport.
We've had it several times. Well, I mean, we've not been without metal detectors, things of that nature, but I think a nice little wrap would be...
I'll see what I can do, sir.
I'm just saying, that's all I'm asking.
I like that.
Just to blend into the environment. That's it. I
like that.
Fish or something.
All right, any other questions?
We good.
All right, good. Thank you, Chief.
Have a good night, everyone. Well, I'll be out there a lot.
Okay. Thank you. All right, moving down on the agenda to final retention stipend, select contractors, long-term substitutes. Dr. Leverett, meeting is yours.
Yes, this is for discussion and action, the approval of the final stipend, select contractors, long-term substitutes, and contract ancillary staff. At this time, I will turn it over to Ms. Kellum.
Good evening. The background rationale reads, in order to continue to retain select contractors, long-term substitute teachers to support the work of the district, administration is asking for the final retention stipend below. Retention stipend, provide a $6,000 retention stipend to select contractors, long-term substitute teachers, and full-time contract ancillary staff. Must work until the last day of the fiscal year 25, school year, June 12, 2025, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend. Provide a $3,000 retention stipend to part-time contract ancillary staff. Must work until the last day of the fiscal year, school year, June 12, 2025, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend. Retention stipend stipulations. Retention stipend will be paid out after a fully executed contract is submitted to the Human Resources Department, subject to vendor payment timelines per invoicing. Vendors may choose to invoice and pay its employees per their payroll timelines. Employees must contact their employer to determine the date the stipend will be paid to them. Contracts must be signed by select contractors, substitute teachers, and full-time and part-time contract ancillary staff employer by September 13, 2024. Eligible employees are those who are active on September 6, 2024. Must work until the last day of the fiscal year, school year, June 12, 2025, or the district will recoup the full retention stipend, and your W-2 will be adjusted by the employer. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education discuss and approve the final retention stipend in the amount of $600,000 for all full-time, part-time, active, select contractors, long-term substitutes, and contract ancillary staff.
Questions from the board? Yes.
Yes, just, when is the deadline? I know we've recently approved for full-time and part-time employees. And to make clarity of this is for contractors.
Yes.
Which we've done in the past. We did not implement this in our initial agreement, which would have been another $600,000. But in the past few retention bonuses we've given to contractors. This was brought back to us because we didn't have contractors in it at the time. And now, I'm aware that the deadline to have all this completed and done through the state is by September 30th. When is your deadline to have, if this is approved, to have these contractors? Because you recently sent out the agreement to sign electronically, and when is the last day for them to sign? Because I remember August the 30th was for the previous one.
The actual employee does not sign a contract, the company does on behalf of their employee.
When is their deadline?
So that employee, September 13th, which is this Friday.
Boom.
That employee will then invoice the district and we pay the retention.
Which you've done in the past?
Yes.
So they're aware of the process, but I'm saying,
Yes.
what is the deadline?
The deadline for the vendor to sign the contract will be this Friday.
So if approved, I'm saying to
I'll be sending
TV
it out
land.
tomorrow.
I'll say to TV land, I want these people to hear it. Because don't come back to us saying, oh, you guys did this, and that. Because that has happened in the past.
Yes.
And I'm just saying to avoid that. So,
yes.
But I understand. Got you.
Gary.
Okay, I'm good on the pass. We was in a pandemic. We ain't no pandemic. So, when you say contractors, are we talking about like the janitorial services?
No. So we're talking about Attorney Seegers, Heidi Hedquist, Alicia White. Then we have our long-term substitutes. We have some ancillary staff that work through the special education department. Our psychologists, some of those people that we outsource services to. So the contractors, the individuals that work for the custodial companies are not a part of that. Transportation is not a part of that. Those bus drivers, all those individuals were not a part of any of the retention from in the past. So these are the same individuals that we paid for all of the retentions that we received.
And this was my question when we did it the last time. Why weren't they included?
I'm sorry, well.
I'm just saying, like, why? That was my question from the last time.
Are you asking about the bus drivers?
The bus drivers, the folks who feed the kids, you know.
The food service aren't receiving it. Those are, when I didn't mention every contractor, but the food service people that work for SFE will receive it.
They are a part of this.
Yes. But transportation, student, whatever company that is, I can't remember right now, but they were not a part of it, and neither was the contractors through the custodial company.
Can we make them a part of it? Like, how do we rearrange this money? Because I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Transportation and
Like transportation, the people who touch our kids every day. Like, I'm not interested in giving a consultant. So that means consultants too. Maybe, maybe not. If they have a contract through the end of the year.
So I can't answer that question because I'm not aware. I don't know.
So
that has not happened in the past. So when I say contractors, those are the individuals that are here every day. Like I just mentioned, Attorney Seegers, Heidi, Alicia White, our couple of our individuals through SFE.
Right.
We didn't have any consultant working during this time
Well,
to receive it?
when we did this the last time, I can't even think of their name right now, but they didn't fully staff themselves as
You're talking about
partners.
ISS?
ISS.
That's the other contractor for long-term, yes.
Right.
For subs.
So those and the psychiatrists and psychologists that we were supposed to have through, I cannot think of the name of, I don't want to say.
Companion.
Yes, okay, thank you so much, because I was about to come up with a name. So they received it. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we can. Transportation has to. Substitute teachers have to.
Substitute teachers are included.
Okay. Like, I just need I mean, I read it. I mean, you get it. I mean, I read it, but it's no. Look.
I never thought about
this is just me saying this, and I'll be done. Okay? We pay a lot of money. I'm looking for results at this point. And so I'm not going to beat a dead horse on how we got here. I'll let it go. But I don't have anything to say that I need to pick. I would like to see a list of folks who I know who's getting it and who's not. I don't want to do a blanket on
So you're
contractors.
just asking about the companies
Well,
that,
because it's we talked about last time. We don't want to get the money back. I get it. I'm just not one of them type of people that just give away. Like, what am I going to get? And if we're not giving it to transportation, which is the hardest hit right at this point, then I'm not giving it to somebody we've already got a yearly contract with. I made a deal with these folks already. Not just like I said, Attorney Seeger is sitting here. He's a contractor. We made a deal. We got a contract. That's it. If we decide to say, okay, he's a part of it, great. If not, we just can't. I don't see us looking at giving over here and not looking at the people who touch the kids on a regular daily basis.
so can I report out tomorrow to Dr. Leverett to provide that information to President Hanna when I can meet with Diane Perez tomorrow and just find out if that's something that's allowable, that we can add those people in? I just don't have that answer right now.
I mean, I want to put a motion on the floor to add them in, because if they're not, then I have to put a motion on the floor to add them in.
I second.
So
we should be able to.
Or table it.
But if we table it,
We
the
should be
deadline
able
is
to,
done.
right, we should be able
We
to
got a
do it.
deadline, we got a deadline.
Okay, listen, okay.
So we can do it, I just got a head nod. So yes, we can do it, we can move forward, we will add those companies in. So I'm going to give you a list of the individuals you want, and we will be adding transportation and the custodial companies to this list that I'll provide.
I just think it's only fair.
I just want to add, I think the deadline got extended. They gave, I thought it wasn't an extension?
No. No.
Okay.
So just so that we're clear.
So can I ask Ms. Perez to go to the mic, just so we can get some more clarity on around the timeline for this?
My question,
Yes.
and I understand, and that's fine. Here's my thing. If she gives us the nod
She just gave me a head
that
nod.
there's enough money to give these people, why can't we vote on it tonight?
Well, it's on the agenda for us to vote on tonight.
No.
But I wanted to.
The transportation and the custodian.
So we don't have a list of individual companies on this there? It just says select contractors.
Here's what I'm
So
saying
that
to
will
you.
cover everybody.
Yes, but you
Yes.
gave a number.
But that dollar amount may increase.
Yes. So let me finish what I was saying. The amount of monies to be paid has increased if we add transportation and other entities, other companies. Mine is, we don't have to worry about a timeline or a deadline. If Diane says that there is enough monies left outside of the $600,000 we're already looking at approving for the companies already named. If there's another $200,000 that can cover them, so that's a total of $800,000, I'm giving a number. If she says we have that amount, we can vote on that. But, am I right? But no, I hear what you're right. He's saying that.
That's like, I'm confused at this point.
But, and we don't want, I don't want you to be confused. I don't want anybody to be confused. So let's go back to your initial question. Was just simply asking HR to provide a list of the contractors or the organizations or the departments that will fall under this bear.
I can get that to you in the morning.
So if you get that to us in the morning, then we could decide, and we could find out the additional cost that would be required. Because as we just said, it's going to be more than the $600,000, right?
Yes.
So then that we'll need to know before we say we want to move forward and vote to approve it. Now, I understand you also mentioned that we needed to have this signed by September 13th, which is
So that's the
Friday.
timeline that I'm given. That's why I wanted Diane to go to the mic, because there's something a little different with, where, Diane, I thought you.
So that's why so my question is, could that be extended? Because we could table this to get this additional information to our next meeting, unless you say that there is a specific timeline that we can't go past. That's what we want clarified.
So for ESSER 3, we must obligate by September 30th. On October 1st, I will be submitting a liquidation extension that will allow us to pay out those vendors past September 30th.
What does that mean?
Obligation means they must sign an agreement before September 30th. However, we internally can provide a different date before September 30th so that we can have all our paperwork in order.
Okay. So what I understand you saying is we can change that September 13th deadline.
We can, but I don't want to change that date because some of my vendors have taken like a week to get back to me. And so we're running up against that September 30th deadline. I just want to make sure that I get it back. And some of the companies did not want to pay before the end of the school year because of how their employees are staffed. Say, for instance, long-term subs. You may have a long-term sub that may leave mid-year and get a job somewhere else. Now, that company is on the hook for that money, that dollar amount that they would have held until the end of the year for them to work the full year in order to get their money. So the the vendors are different than employees because they invoice us, and based upon the employees that they invoice, on the invoice is how we pay them. So they have to verify that they actually paid that employee before the money is expensed to them. And some of the companies, two of the companies would not pay the money out to their employees until the end of the school year.
When is our next meeting?
The 23rd.
23rd.
There's nothing on the 16th. Board governance on the 30th.
All right, so if we moved this, I know you don't want to.
No, it's okay.
But if we move this and table this to September 23rd, our next meeting, then we would have the list, then we will have the exact amounts from Diane as to how much it will be. That still give you time to get this signed.
Gives me
Why
7
can't we
days.
call a special meeting for the 16th? I'm asking.
If we have to call a special meeting, we'll call a special
Yeah,
meeting.
because the
for approval.
23rd only gives me 7 days, and I just don't want to be a delay in. So what I normally would do is prepare the contracts tomorrow, email them out, then call the vendor, let them know, please check your email, read the terms of the agreement, and they will send them right back. A couple of the companies it's hard to get in touch with, so that 7-day timeline may hit me right at the door of the 30th, and I believe the 30th is the weekend, so it'll be the September 27th, which is that Friday.
All right, okay, well, we'll call a special meeting if we need to, so we can vote on it. Do you have another comment?
No, I just got a question. I mean, the question was around the ESSER payout. When Ms. Perez said she has to make sure that the vendors signed off on it. Are we talking about the vendors that will get paid from this?
So,
Is that specifically what we're talking about, the vendors have to sign off on?
yes, on the contract that I send out. So the company is signing on behalf of its employees, not each employee
No,
receive
I
a
get it.
contract, yes.
Yeah.
So it's the company that has to sign off on the actual contract. I have to have that contract in hand with a signature to give to Diane so that she'll know that we are now allowed to pay these people out.
Okay. And ESSER, because I approved it, it was $7.2 million, correct?
Yes.
So is this all of it? Is this the rest of it?
I can't answer that question,
Because
Diane.
what I'm saying, I thought that the 7.2 was it. Now we're asking for it, now we come up with an additional
$600.
600,000 or maybe more. So what do we have in ESSER funding that could be used, period? Like, where are we at with that?
So summer school just ended a bit ago, and so I'm reviewing ESSER 3 this week and making a final amount that's available. Right now, as it stands, we believe that we've completely utilized everything once we're done with this contract, stipend for contractors.
Can we just, Madam Chair, can we get that final number whenever we do
Just
this?
send it
We will,
'Cause
yes,
that didn't
when
miss
we
one.
get the list, let us know what the final number is for ESSER along with who these people are. So that's two things that we'll need, the final number for ESSER and then this list of the contractors or whoever will be receiving the stipend.
So just just for clarity and understanding, we have employees that are being paid up to September 30th that will be hitting this grant. And so it will still be a projection. It's just going to be a more concise projection.
Okay.
Cool with that?
All right. Did anybody else have any other questions? You haven't?
Oh.
Diane, when could you have this information to us?
I'll provide it to Dr. Leverett, and whenever HR provides the listing for the stipends, I can provide it at the same time.
Thank you.
So I can have the information by midday, because what I have to do is not just provide you the list of the actual company, but I need to now calculate how many employees that are full-time and how many are part-time within that company. And so I'll give you the name of the company, but I'll also give you the numbers of how many full-time will receive it and how many part-time from each company. And transportation custodial is new, so I gotta reach out to them and let them know what we're doing.
Can we have it by Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we need to table this.
Motion on the floor to table this item until, you gave a date of the 23rd?
Meeting, we said we were gonna call it.
Or just motion on the floor to table this item to the next regular scheduled meeting by the board? Next regular meeting. It could be a special meeting, it could be a whatever meeting.
Whenever you call.
That's what I'm saying.
That date still doesn't kind of work for me.
No, I didn't put a date on it. I said table this to the
You
next
said next meet
meeting.
again. We can meet on Thursday.
Okay.
My motion on the floor,
Understand.
my motion on the floor is to table this item to the next scheduled regular board meeting. It could be whatever
I got you.
the Madam Chair say it is. That's my motion.
Yep.
Okay, I need a support.
Support. Oh, go ahead. She got it.
Okay, all
You
right,
got
thank
it?
you.
Okay.
So it's been moved by Trustee Garrett, supported by Secretary David Smith to table the final retention stipend conversation to our next scheduled meeting. Any questions?
Done.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gross,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
that motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. All right, moving down to action items. Action item is for the approval of the baggage scanners for Pontiac School District. Can I get a motion?
Moved by Garrett.
Support.
It's been moved by Trustee Garrett, supported by VP Bowman for the approval of the baggage scanners for the Pontiac School District building. Are there any questions? Roll call.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
Thank you. All right, moving down to our regular working agenda for the Board of Education. Discussion, selection of 2024-2025 MASB delegates. The annual MASB conference is in Lansing, October 24th through the 27th, and we are in need of delegates and one alternate. So board, we need to decide, find out who's attending, who's planning to attend the conference in Lansing, and if you're willing to serve as a delegate. So I saw Kraft is planning to attend. Perfect. Terry and Bowman. All right, we have you three. Will you agree to serve as a delegate, and I will serve as an alternate? You're in agreement?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Then I would like to put a motion on the floor for the approval of Trustee Kraft, Treasurer Terry, and VP Bowman to serve as a delegate for the 2024-2025 MASB delegate, and I will serve as an alternate. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Need support?
Oh,
Who moved it?
Who support the move?
Moved by Garrett.
moved by Garrett, supported by Gross for the approval of the 2024-2025 MASB delegates.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
Trustee Kraft,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Gross,
Yes.
and President Hannah.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving down the agenda for General Counsel Human Resource items. Dr. Leverett, to you.
Thank you, President Hannah. These items are for discussion and action. They are new. They are for the ITA Assistant Principal Candidate for Hire, Christine Doyle. And at this time, I will turn it over to Ms. Kellum. Ms. Kellum.
Thank you, Dr. Leverett. So I have an item for discussion and action. It's a recommendation for hire for candidate Christine Doyle, ITA Assistant Principal. The background rationale reads, the proposed 24-25 contract will secure Christine Doyle's contract and shall be at the annual rate of ITA Assistant Principal Step 1, $93,000 plus a $3,000 stipend for working in the K-12 program per the collective bargaining agreement on the PASA salary table. Regarding the base salary for the 24-25 school year, September 9, 2024 through June 30, 2025, if the operating tax levy for a given fiscal year increases less than 3% from the fiscal year tax levy, there will be no salary schedule increase. If the operating tax levy for a given fiscal year increases greater than 3% from the previous fiscal year tax levy, the salary schedule increase shall equal 50% of the percentage increase above 3%. For example, if the tax levy increases 6%, then the wage scale shall increase 1.5%, which is 6% minus 3% times 50%. The salary schedule increase shall not exceed 5% in any given year. The funding source, it's below is general fund. It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Education discuss and approve the contract of Christine Doyle as assistant principal at International Technical Academy effective September 9, 2024 through June 30, 2025. And Ms. Doyle is in the audience. You should have your resume and certification attached to it on your beer.
Yes. Great resume.
Thank you. Miss Christine? Uh-oh, there we go. Hi, welcome. Do you want to have any words to share?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to serve their community and your time.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I overstepped, Christine. We needed to vote first. I don't know if it was me that was more anxious or just me feeling your energy, but we got to vote first.
Because our feelings be hurt if we said no.
All right, is there any comments, any questions from the board? All right, thank you. All right, can I get a motion for the approval of the candidate for hire for the ITA assistant?
So moved.
Thank you.
Support.
All right, it's been moved by trustee Gross, supported by trustee Garrett for the approval of the candidate for hire for ITA assistant principal. Questions? Roll call.
VP Bowman,
Yes.
trustee Kraft,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
trustee Gross,
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
treasurer Terry.
Yes.
That passes 7-0.
Now.
All right. Christine, I'm sorry, it's been a long night.
Yeah.
So, welcome. Now, do you have any words that you would like to share?
I'd just like to thank you for your time this evening. I apologize, I'm tired and hungry.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome aboard, Christine. All right,
Welcome aboard.
next, Dr. Leverett.
Thank you. Continuing on, I'll turn it over to Ms. Kellum for discussion action of a new contract as relates to Dr. Katina Mason for Assistant Principal at Pontiac High School. Ms. Kellum.
Thank you, Dr. Leverett. So this is another item for discussion and action. Pontiac High School Assistant Principal recommendation for hire, Dr. Katina Mason. The proposed 24-25 contract will secure Dr. Katina Mason's contract and shall be at the annual rate of $113,976.81. Regarding the base salary for the 24-25 fiscal year, September 9, 2024 through June 30, 2025, if the operating tax levy for a given fiscal year increases less than 3% from the previous fiscal year tax levy, there will be no salary schedule increase. If the operating tax levy for a given fiscal year increases greater than 3% from the previous fiscal year tax levy, the salary schedule increase shall equal 50% of the percentage increase above 3%. For example, if the tax levy increases 6%, then the wage scale shall increase 1.5%, which is 6% minus 3% times 50%. The salary schedule increase shall not exceed 5% in any given year. The funding source is general fund. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the contract for Dr. Katina Mason as assistant principal at Pontiac High School effective September 9, 2024 through June 30, 2025. Her resume and certification is attached. There was a scheduling conflict from Dr. Mason, so she is not in the audience tonight, but she is extremely excited to join our team.
All right, thank you. All right, can I get a motion?
Support.
Question?
Your question?
Yeah, just looking through both of those contracts, I noticed one had a stipend, one didn't. Is there?
ITA has a stipend that's built into the in the collective bargaining agreement. So the principal and assistant principal both receive a stipend every year annually, but it's part of the bargaining agreement.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. They have a K through 12 program. I'm sorry.
That one ain't gonna be my question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was not.
My apologies.
No, ma'am, that was not gonna be my.
All right, any other questions as we move on down? All right, can I get a motion on the floor for the approval of the candidate for hire for PHS assistant principal?
So moved.
Thank you. Support. It's been moved by trustee Gross and supported by Secretary David Smith for the approval of candidate for hire for PHS assistant principal, Miss Dr. Katina Mason. Any questions?
Comment. Thank you for what you've done, because I know how difficult it has been, especially at the time of the start of school year. And for these candidates, and go through the process you had to go through to ensure that we got this done. I know you didn't rush through it, and here we are at the start of the school year, and we need these people in here. And I thank them for their interest, but I appreciate the process and what you have done to go through this and get this done right now.
Thank you. I have about 4 more of them we'll be bringing before you in the next couple weeks.
Oh, it's a few. I understand that, but we got to get this right because the kids need it. And so thank you.
So while you're making your comment, can I just thank the team that was a part of it that worked all summer long?
When I say you, I'm talking about everybody involved in this process.
Thank you.
Yes.
Another question, comment?
So I think she worked here previously.
Yes, he worked as a coach, instructional coach through EduStat.
But then also
and then
was
she
a
also worked with the
substitute,
ISD
And
as
then she
well.
worked, in her earlier days, she worked as a substitute here?
Now that information I'm not sure of.
Huh?
I don't believe as a substitute trustee, but I do
Like
know
before all the
math
time, like-
consultant. She
Right.
has a extensive math background, so I know for sure as a math consultant.
You remember?
Yeah, I mean, this one was, she worked with Miss Coco Mulder over at Pontiac Central. If this is the same, if this is the same person, which I believe that it is, only one that I know of. So, yeah, awesome.
All right. Good, we're ready for the vote.
Okay.
You pass your bedtime.
It's beyond. I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
That passes.
All right, thank you. Moving on down to DTE, Right Way at Administration, Dr. McGrath.
Yes, thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to Attorney Seegers for discussion and action as it relates to the DTE easement right-of-way at the administration building. Attorney Seegers.
All right, good evening. So to increase reliability and resiliency of the electricity distribution system, DTE Energy is converting system equipment for the city of Pontiac to 13.2 kV. As part of the conversion program, a new transformer will be installed at the board office. DTE will buy and install a new transformer for the Board of Education at the location shown on the attached easement documents in support of the area conversion to 13.2 kV. The entire city of Pontiac will be going through this voltage conversion to increase reliability. It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve this modified DTE easement at the board.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the board?
I appreciate, this is something we talked about when we talked about the easement in some other places, and I'm glad this was heard from us and we're getting this done, because it's needed. Thank you, Mr. Seegers, for getting this taken care of. When we had talked about this before,
Okay.
and it's necessary, and I'm glad we're getting this done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Terry?
I guess, did they provide a timing, and then I guess, will we need to relocate admin for any period of time, or?
No.
Nope, it'd be a one day?
I don't think a one day. Yeah, it's a weekend.
A weekend?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't see you over there. Thank you.
All right. Can I get any other questions? Motion on the, can I get a
So
motion?
moved.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you. It's been motioned by Trustee Gross, second by Trustee Garrett for the approval of the DTE electric right-of-way at the administration building. Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Garrett,
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
and I'm voting yes. That passes.
All right, thank you. Next, Dr. Leverett is out, but this is for Attorney Seegers. Third amendment to custodial services contract with Grand Rapids Building Services Extension. Attorney Seegers.
Yes. Maintaining a clean and safe environment in our facilities is crucial for the health, welfare, and overall satisfaction of our staff, students, and visitors. Custodial services play a vital role in ensuring that our facilities meet the highest standards of cleanliness, hygiene, and safety. Over the past contract period, the RNA custodial team has consistently demonstrated high levels of professionalism, reliability, and efficiency in carrying out their duties. Their efforts have been integral in maintaining the productivity and morale of both employees and students. It is a recommendation that the Board of Education approve the one-year extension of the custodial services contract with RNA for the 24-25 school year.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
I just make sure that when we have these extensions as it pertains to various contracts, that we speak with those who monitor. And Mr. Beasley, he gives us a heads up all the time on whether or not they're doing the job they're doing. And he gives an okay, then we're fine, because he's the one that's monitoring. And I appreciate him giving that information.
All right, good. Any other comments? Terry?
Nope, just to add on to that one, I don't know, was there any evaluation done for this one as well? I know gross.
Yeah, we do evaluations
Just
every
to
year
tag
on all our
Yes.
contractors.
Yes, yes.
We do evaluations.
But was it,
I didn't see it in this one. I was just wondering. Was it evaluation redone?
But we did one. I don't know if it's in that packet or not, but we definitely did one.
Okay. Could you share that one?
We can get it. We can get it for you. Thank you.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right,
and it's just for 1 year?
this is for 1 year.
Yeah.
What's the increase?
Increase, it's no increase,
No
same
increase,
rate.
just the renewal.
Just the renewal?
Just
Okay.
renewal.
All right.
All right, if I could get a motion for the approval of the third amendment to custodial services. Thank you. It's a lot.
Support.
All right, thank you. It's been motion by trustee Gross, approved by treasurer Terry for the approval of the third amendment to custodial services contract with Grand Rapids Building Services. Any question? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah.
Yes.
Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. And Trustee Garrett. Trustee Garrett.
Yes.
Keep it up. Five. Oh, that passes. 5-0.
All right, thank you very much. Next one is, again, Third Amendment to Custodial Services Contract with RNA. Attorney Seegers.
Yes, same as with GRBS, RNA does the schools that GRBS doesn't do. So maintaining a clean and safe environment in our facilities is crucial for the health, well-being, and overall satisfaction of our staff, students, and visitors. Custodial services play a vital role in ensuring that our facilities meet the highest standards of cleanliness, hygiene, and safety. Over the past contract period, the RNA custodial team has consistently demonstrated high levels of professionalism, reliability, and efficiency in carrying out their duties. Their efforts have been integral in maintaining the productivity and morale of both employees and students. It is a recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the 1-year extension of the custodial services contract with RNA for the 24-25 school year. And the price remains unchanged.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I just want to say, we've had some discussion about this in the past as it pertains to these contractors when it comes to custodial services. And we had some issues, some concerns that we had, and I'm going to give him flowers when they're due. When Mr. Beasley was placed into the position as he's in now, we began to see some changes in some of the attitudes. Some of the workers they were very difficult in working with them, and some of them had to be removed. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes, and so we began to see some changes. Because I ask these things because you can see cleanliness, and if it's fit for us to continue with this. And so when he got into this position, we began to see some changes, not only in the cleanliness, but in the attitudes of those who are working. And then a lot of the attitudes changed when we brought our own in as well. And so, they were not able to get as many people in as they want. So we began to see a change, and I appreciate that. So I'm in support of this because of what I've been seeing for myself, and then having a discussion with Mr. Beasley since he's been in this position as pertains to these contractual agreements with this group. So that's why I'm saying it's extremely important, and I trust the fact when he tells me it's being done.
All right, thank you. Any other comments? All right, can I get a motion on the floor for the approval of the Third Amendment?
So moved.
Thank you.
Support.
It's been moved by trustee Gross, supported by treasurer Terry for the approval of the Third Amendment to custodial services contract with RNA. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah.
Yes.
Trustee Terry.
Yes.
This is a different one.
I'm voting yes. And Trustee Garrett.
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, moving down, one of the items that we added to our agenda was the resolution for recognizing the delegates for Kusatu, Japan. And I would like to read the resolution for our sister city delegation. Whereas the school district of the city of Pontiac has been privileged to share in the nearly 50-year sister city relationship between the city of Pontiac, Michigan, United States of America, and Kusatsu, Japan. Whereas that relationship has garnered unique educational, business, and cultural relationships spanning the globe built on mutual respect and continued learning fostered through delegates. Whereas one key area of collaboration includes the Learning as One exchange program, which provided an international exchange for Pontiac Middle School students and chaperones, as well as their counterparts from Kusatsu, Shiga, Japan. Whereas we look forward to continuing to support the Pontiac and Kusatsu relationship as sister cities, and we are filled with gratitude to be able to bring more opportunities for future generations of students by bringing our culture together. Whereas the Kusatsu Sister City delegation visited Pontiac, Michigan on Tuesday. They will visit here tomorrow. They are in town. They will visit the district tomorrow, Tuesday, September the 10th, 2024. Resolved, the Board of Education for the School District of the City of Pontiac hereby celebrates Suzuko Hiro and the entire Kusatsu Japan Sister City delegation and honors them for their profound connection they bring to the Pontiac School District community and its rich cultural diversity. And resolve that we extend our friendship, knowledge, and desire to continue our relationship for years to provide children from both our countries pathways without barriers to learn from one another and with each other. And further resolve, the Board of Education expresses our deepest gratitude for our half-a-century relationship with our sister city delegation. Resolve, we are thankful to the 2024 Kusatsu Japan delegates at the work that they do. We celebrate their dedication, commitment to the global unity, innovation, and education. We look forward to many great collaborations together for generations to come. Signed, the School District's Board of Education. We're thankful that they are in town. They have been visiting with the city. They have a tight schedule, and so we are happy to be on that schedule. We will be sharing with them tomorrow. They invited us to their welcoming reception that they had last week, but we do look forward to sharing with them here when they come to visit the district on tomorrow, and we will make sure that this resolution is shared with them when they are present. Any questions, comments about this, our
So
sister city?
I'm not trying to make any extra work for Dr. Leverett, but over at City Hall, when they were here a few days ago, last week, they had their own red carpet that they rolled out for them. So, not that we're in competition, but I'm just saying, okay, I got you. We good. Okay, Doc, you just answered my question.
Yeah.
We discussed that, didn't we?
We did.
We
Well,
good?
I'm looking forward to the partnership. That's,
Yes.
I'm glad that, I think Brenda Carter, who served as the previous, she's a state rep now, but she served as the previous president and board, MASB, and this has been something that she had been wanting to get back started again because it had been just dormant for so long. And it's exciting to be able to kind of see it, back into the swing of things. So thank you for the resolution, and hopefully we can, I'm not gonna say outshine the city, but let them know that we love them too. That's all.
Indeed. Any other comments?
No, you're doing good.
No, great. Can I get a motion for the approval of the resolution?
Moved by Garrett.
Support.
Thank you. It's been moved by Trustee Garrett, approved by Trustee Gross for the approval of the resolution recognizing the delegates from Kusatsu, Japan. Any comments, questions? Roll call, please.
President Hannah?
Yes.
Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett
Yes.
and Trustee Gross?
Yes.
That passes.
Awesome, thank you. All right, and now we'll move down to communications, petitions, and delegations. We do have two. So Here goes the Pontiac Board of Education's Communications, Delegations, and Petitions. Your request to address the Pontiac Board of Education for 3 minutes is granted with your commitment that all comments will be delivered with courtesy and civility. Failure to do so will result in forfeiting of your allotted time. Petition that I have is from Tamika Brown. Is she here?
That's my government name.
I was wondering.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to talk, and thank you for this meeting being online. As when I was working, I was able to keep up with it. I've heard it mentioned some community members are attending this meeting to be political. I'm glad I don't fall in that category. As a mother of a 7th grade Pontiac middle schooler, I attend these meetings because all children deserve a quality education. My son deserves a quality education. On the second day of school, I wrote this Facebook post. Dear Pontiac schools, we're going to try this again. I'm trusting a piece of me, my heart and soul, to being with you in the Pontiac Middle School. I am pleading, begging, and demanding that y'all focus on the kids and do what is in the best interest of each and every one of them, not adult egos or personality issues. I've been at these meetings and I'll be at the school. I'll be wherever I need to be to ensure that every child has the tools and resources to do their best. I'm asking, why are the class sizes so large? I'm asking, my son has an IEP. He is autistic. He doesn't look like it. He is very intelligent, but he still needs some resources. And Miss Taylor, his first hour teacher, has been amazing. But when I go in the first day of registration to hear that they are short on paper and they don't have the resources, and I sat here all summer listening to y'all brag about how much money we have on paper, how is that money benefiting our kids if the teachers aren't being paid well and they don't have the resources or supplies they need to do their job? I would hope and pray, because my baby is my baby and I put everything on my kids. And I know that there are a lot of parents who don't have the privilege that I have to own my own business and to be there at a drop of a hat, to go to the school, to work with Oakland Forward, to bring school supplies on registration day, because we've heard about how much money the school district has, and then we see the teachers struggling. This isn't their business. They're not doing this to help us out. They're doing their jobs and asking for basic resources to make sure that our children are safe and secure and get the learning that they deserve. It is sad when parents feel like the only way they can get a good education for their children is to step outside of this school district. I, on purpose, fighting my husband tooth and nail, moved back to the city and bought a house. I want my son to go to a school that is in the community so that he can play with the kids around him. He is learning and growing his social skills because he's going to the youth rec center, he's going to the school, he's doing these programs. So I would ask that y'all do y'all job and make sure that the teachers and the children have what they need to continue to be successful. Thank you.
Okay, our next petition is from Jacob D. Van Loan. And again, I'll read again. It is stated, your request to address the Pontiac Board of Education for 3 minutes is granted with your commitment that all comments will be delivered with courtesy and civility. Failure to do so will result in forfeiture of your allotted time. Thank you.
Thank you. Greetings, I'm Jake Van Loon. Oh, good evening, yeah. And this is my partner, James Nolan Muntz. Hello.
Hello.
We are building a after-school program using OST funds, ARPA funds, that supports ELL learners, that supports their parents, and that supports the needs of after-school programs in this city. We're calling it the Pontiac Hype Center. Nolan has a background of 10 years of teaching experience. He is a certified social studies teacher and has experience teaching at the Novi Rohr School. And I'm a biomedical sciences graduate of Oakland University, and I run the sciences portion of these after-school programs. Really, we are just interested in forming community partnerships and introducing ourselves. We want to know more about the needs that we can meet if we win these monies, and to incorporate those strategies into our grants so that we can help more people have access to high-quality after-school programs. Did you want to add anything?
Sure. Thank you again for your time and for your thoughtfulness. I can really tell from everyone's passionate comments how much everyone in this room really cares about the students in Pontiac. We both grew up in Waterford, and when we wanted to start our own school, we really thought hard about where we wanted to put our time and effort and resources. I believe that the purpose of education is to help people with a lack of access to that. Not saying that the students here don't have an access to education, but we really wanted to contribute to the quality of the education here. And so right now we run an ESL, that's an English as a second language school for adults and children in the community at the First Presbyterian Church just down the road. And this is part of our mission that my best friend Jake has just described to you, to open up our arms to all students in Pontiac and really do more than just help academically. We really find that our values align, and we want to help the whole students grow emotionally and spiritually, academically. And so, you know, we'd love to continue this dialogue maybe when we have a little bit more time. And yeah, we just thank you all for your time.
Yeah, the wraparound services that we're proposing are quite extensive, so I didn't want to try to talk about every single thing that we're doing. But if you are interested, I will gladly give you my phone number and email at the end of the session, and I cede my time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate you, Ms. Brown, Mr. Lone, for your patience with us tonight. Has been a long one, but we have heard you. So I thank you again for sharing. All right, as we move down to our board comments and announcements. Oh, no more
Good,
comments.
it's already late.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments? Okay, thank you.
I just want to thank our staff, everyone, teachers, principals, administration, bus drivers, custodian, food service. It takes all of us in order to make a great district, and I just thank you all for all of the help that you guys do. A lot of you guys go beyond the call of duty, and it's not noticed, but when I see it, I appreciate it, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Have a good night, and we're going to have a great year this year. We're focusing on literacy.
Amen.
All right, thank you. Did you have anything, Terry?
Just real quick, once again, I just want to say congratulations to our students to receive the awards and recognition earlier today in our session. I want to say thank you to the staff, thank you to our parents out there, thank you to the community as well for bearing with this. I know it's a long meeting, but once again, there is things that we need to take care of to keep this school district moving forward. So as we continue to move forward for this new school year, I want to just say keep us all in prayer. If you can help out, continue to help out, continue to support any kind of ways you can, and let's just all work together and make Pontiac strong and keep pushing forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Terry. I again want to thank all of you, those of you that are here in person with us, as well as those that are tuned in online, for your patience with us. Forgive us for the bloopers that we had through the meeting, but I think the message was clear in terms of our intent and the information that we wanted to convey in regards to the district and how we're moving forward and what our importance is. I wanted to also share, we did kick off the school started last week. We had a great start. I am positive and confident that we are going to have a great school year. Of course, yes, as with every school district that started and brought their kids back, there were some challenges, but we have addressed our challenges. We are looking to make the improvements that are necessary. But I also wanted to acknowledge and just send out prayers and thoughts for the school district in Georgia, because their start to the school year after being in for 1 month was not a great start. It wasn't a happy ending for those parents and students. So we have to be mindful that it could always be worse. And so whereas we have our challenges, we have our problems, but just being mindful, things could be worse. And to lose a child in that way is the worst way. So I, again, just want to acknowledge and thank you for your patience with us. Thank you, Ms. Brown, for giving us another chance, as well as all of our parents that have returned their students back to the school district. We are committed to doing the right thing. We are committed to making sure that every single one of our students get the quality education that they deserve. And so we are going to continue to move forward to make sure that we are doing the things to achieve that goal. So everything is going to take time. We will get there, but I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your confidence in the Pontiac School District that we can do it. And we are here as a board, as not just one individual, but as a board, and working with administration to make sure that we're doing things that are in the best interest of the school district. That means for our students, our staff, as well as our families. So that's all that I have for tonight. Again, thank you, and I will move forward to get a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Support.
Thank you. It's been moved by Secretary David Smith, supported by Trustee Gross to adjourn the meeting. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Garrett?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Gross?
Yes.
President Hannah?
Yes.
That motion passes